so much for being here. It is an honor to be able to have another show today. And it is an honor to be able to connect with the family, the love, the spiritual connections that we are making all across the world. And we have an amazing man with us today, Hillis Pugh. And he is a soul mentor, energy facilitator, author, teacher, speaker, and holistic practitioner that utilizes his gifts and tools to empower others on their journey. And the reason why he chooses to do this type of work is to guide others on their path, to let them know that they are not alone, to let you know you are not alone. You are with family. No matter where you go, the connections that you make, because even if you are alone in your own room, guess what? You're connected all over the world. So either way, you're not alone, and we're all feeling it no matter what we're going through. Is there anything that you would like to say before we introduce?
I'll make announcements like midway through or towards the end, so stick
All
around.
right, so Hillis Pugh, thank you so much for being here. It was an honor to be able to speak to you yesterday. The energy that you presented with us yesterday was just truly amazing, and thank you so much for that.
It was a beautiful conversation, and I'm happy to continue this conversation with you and the family to provide whatever it is that they're wanting for them in this time of great transition we are experiencing right now.
It's very true.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of us are experiencing the highs and the lows of the energies, no matter what's coming through, if it's coming through like the news outlets or if it's coming through like family, friends, or whoever's coming into our experience. Even when you're alone.
Right?
Yeah, even when you're alone, and you said something very and poignant there, Kid, when you talked about the experience, even if we having the experiences coming through, in very important times, when we are quiet, when we are still in the space of peace. It is in that personal experience where sometimes we often have the most transformative experiences, in honoring that space. And so even in those moments, you are not alone. You're always connected to someone, something, even if it's to your own higher divine self.
That is so true. That is so true. By the way, if anyone would like to know a little bit more about Hillis Pugh, and all his links are in the description, but I'm also going to post it up on top for you guys as well. So you guys are able to get his Telegram, his YouTube, his
everything.
Literally everything is in that link.
Yeah, everything you need is right there. I mean, that's the one-stop shop. It's because when you are in this arena, and there's multiple avenues in which someone can find you, and it's like, okay, here's one link. You can find me wherever you need to find me. Make it easy. Wherever you are, I'm there. Or if you want me to be, I'll be there.
That's true. So you have your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, your YouTube, the Cosmic Insight show that you and your partner do.
On Spotify,
Yes, my
right?
co-host.
And also on Spotify, yeah. So LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Ooh, even Amazon. Cool.
You're on Amazon?
Well, because I'm an author as well, and so my book is on Amazon. And actually, it's funny. Amazon just sent me an email saying, "Hey, put your show on our channel." I'm like, "Okay, sure, why not?"
Oh, beautiful.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So wherever you are, I'm there. So just people have easier access to find me and for me to spread the wisdom to uh, do what I do, because generally love what I do. As well, it's more so what I generally love is to witness the transformation in the people I assist, the people that I work with to facilitate their own personal transformation for them to clear out and to be free of what no longer serves. And because right now on the planet, we are in that space time energy of really unpacking the suitcase, really letting go of it all, and really analyzing of is it worth us keeping what it is we're holding on to? Is it really worth us, holding on to all the baggage, all the luggage, all this temporary stuff? That's what it is. It's all temporary, and for us to move into a better space. And so we are really in that great space of transition for self and for the planet.
It's very true. So, would you say that everything else in this life is temporary, but the only thing that is actually permanent would be our soul's energy?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, there's two things that you can count on never changing, and that is your soul because it evolves. And so the other thing that I wouldn't say that change is change because change is always changing. Evolving is always evolving. So that's the one consistent thing that you can count on. Everything else evolves and changes with. And so with energy, the vibration, the resonance, the fields of resonance, those are always changing and fluctuating at every second of every day. It's just sometimes so happens we get caught up or catch a glimpse of those fields of resonance where we come into an alignment with that vibrational frequency. Sometimes, if we're lucky enough, we can hold that vibrational frequency to create a greater morphic field of change around us and to affect those who we are connected to.
That is so true.
Yeah.
So I always think that as a leader,
Yeah.
we're always doing our inner work so that we can continue helping others do theirs. And so I wanted to ask you, um, what do you do to make sure that you're always on the clear?
I meditate every single day. I mean, granted, I am going through this just like everyone else. However, it is in the process of stillness that I understand my own energy, that I understand my own field, my own frequency, my own vibration, that I feel that. And when I say feel it, I mean I literally feel it everything from the inside out on the cellular level, all the way to my skin, all the way to my auric field. I really feel what that energy feels like. And yeah, there are days where my energy is off, but those are the days that matter the most. Because instead of sitting with trying to perfect my field and strengthen my field, I have to sit and say, you know what? It's okay that I'm off today. It's okay that I can just sit here in meditation and be all mopey and grumpy and irritable, or just lay in my bed and just be. And it's okay because I have to have that in order for me to know what it feels like to be in my truth, to be in my power, to be in that field of resonance. If I didn't have that contrast, I wouldn't know what my true soul, my true power felt like.
So it's a lot like PMs on like those big machines that create car parts and all that type of stuff. And PMs is a short term way of saying preventative maintenance. So you
Yes.
are going around your auric field, your soul realm, your heart space, and making sure that there are no cracks, no blemishes, while you're just laying there and spending time with yourself.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I mean, and sometimes, it's okay to have a crack here or a crack there because sometimes those cracks allow for a different frequency, a different vibration to enter or alter what is there. Because without those cracks, without those energies, we wouldn't know what else is out there or what's available to us. Because sometimes, we hear the phrase, "Oh, I'm just in my bubble of energy." Well, if your bubble stuck in your bubble of energy, how else would you know what's going on around you? If
That's
those
true.
cracks didn't allow for that other energy to flow in. And sometimes it's those cracks that gets our attention. Say, hey, something's off. Hey, something's not right. Hey, what's going on? And so it's that. And so it's in that attention that we create a new intention of really understanding our field and strengthening that space to understand. Well, it's okay if that comes in because that won't bother me in the long run. That's okay if that, thought or that energy or that frequency or that vibration, or that person per se enters into my field because I know how to strengthen and how to really balance out my own energy so no one else can affect me but me.
So I was. Oh, that was feedback.
That's
Uh,
not from us.
So I was in a conversation yesterday. I did a meditation with someone, and she was asking me some questions, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know," and and so the conversation was, uncomfortable because I just felt so whiny, and I enter into a point during those times you're talking about where I forget for the moment the tools that we have, and then all of a sudden it just came in like a flood. Oh, I hear a song coming on. One time that was happening. This was a different circumstance, different situation. I was walking up the stairs and I heard my team say, "Why are you not standing in your power?" Wait. Oh, yeah. And so when that came to me during this conversation, I said, okay, I got it. I keep forgetting to stand in my power. And for me, what that means is that there is a shift. I now exit out of all of those emotions and feelings, and I'm now an observer of them instead of feeling them so deep and feeling like I'm crashing and burning.
Oh yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
powerful being. I got power.
Right?
That's very key what you said there, Candy, because I talked about this a little bit ago because there is a significant difference between feeling and emotion.
Mhm.
And so, just for those who are watching, emotion is based on previous experiences we've had. So, every thought triggers the experience, which is the emotional response to that. For example, when we have a heartbreak, that's, an emotional response. Except for the first heartbreak. The first heartbreak, that's feeling because we really feel it deeply. But then everyone thereafter, could be the emotional feelings are something that you feel more in the body. You feel it resonate with every single cell. You feel that energetic trigger, with the intuition or the remembrance of the soul. That, oh, wow, wow. My ears just went super high in pitch.
I did. Did you see the look on my face while things were going? It's
Yeah,
like it popped. So there's an energy shift that's happening right now.
Well, good for
yeah,
you too.
exactly.
Mine is just still clogged.
You
Mine's
know
waiting to
what?
go
We
pop. So
can get
keep
you there,
going.
Well,
kid. Yeah,
you're in good company, honey. We'll bring you along.
yeah. No, but it's that intuitiveness that is the true feeling and not the emotion. So I want people to really ask yourself. So this is homework for everyone. When you're having an emotion, ask yourself, is this an emotion or if this is a feeling? Because if it's a feeling, you're going to feel it resonate throughout the physical body. More of an emotion is going to be more mental, it's going to be more in the mind.
That is
And
true.
sometimes Yeah, sometimes emotions begin to play movies. So that's how you know it's more of an emotion than it is a feeling.
That is so true. It is so true. I also like to tell people that emotions and feelings are one and the same, but they're also very different at the same time. It's the same thing as two cogs in a clock. Where
Hmm.
there's one turning, it also turns the other. It may not be connected right to each other, but there's another cog that you do not see, which is you, that is turning both.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, because one often triggers the other. I mean, because the emotional space is more surface, more of the first layer, while the feeling is more a full body response. It's almost like, dare I say, almost like an emotional orgasm. Like you feel it in your whole entire body. Like you feel your body react to triggers or all these things that are happening in the body. So that's how you know that this, when we have gut instincts or gut responses, this is how we know how to trust our intuition. Our body reacts to that. And sometimes this is why some people often do muscle testing. They trust the body's response to that feeling or that reaction. And so feeling is also more physical when it comes to the body. It's also pure in energy, and the body seldom lies. Uh, the mind or the ego sometimes like to get you on their side and say, "Yeah, I'm right. I'm right. This is my show. This is how we're going to do it. This is how it's going to go." And then sometimes when it doesn't go that way, you get disappointed, you get let down, or it's the opposite. You get happy and enthusiastic because it all worked out. But in either case, it is just the mind wanting you to get you on their side to play a different game by the same set of rules.
You know, how you said that the emotional response is kind of like a spiritual orgasm within the body, right?
Yes.
If only we had or have that mindset, or if only we can start reprogramming or deprogramming the old program to reprogram the new program to actually enjoy that moment,
Well, there are
enjoy the
several
moment of
ways to
feeling
do
it.
that.
Because when you
There are
enjoy the moment of feeling it, it's
several ways
like
to do that.
it brings in the higher vibration of, oh yes, thank you God, like
I love it. I mean, there are several ways to do that. I mean, obviously, the one way is through meditation or through breath work and through different techniques. Those are more of the uh, still or less, I don't know, easier ways to do it. Then there are more advanced ways to do it, such as plant medicine, whether if it's ayahuasca, whether if it's mushrooms. There's all these other teachers on the planet that could assist us in getting more in tune with our body because personally, I've been on a personal journey for the past, it's been almost 10 weeks of really honing and really getting in touch with my physical body. Because people who are spiritual, people who do the work that I do, you know, they are spend a lot of time outside of themselves, a lot of time in the higher realms. Not everyone, but this is just a general consensus. However, just like the planet, we spend a lot of time exploring space, right? As humanity, we spend a lot of time. Oh, let's go to the moon. Oh, let's go to Mars. Oh, what about this asteroid that's going to come hit us? It's a lot of concern and stuff outside of us. However, we don't do a lot of self exploration, and not just of the soul, but of the body as well, because the body is a magnificent uh, body of work, pun intended. It is in that space where a lot of us don't really understand. Sometimes we just surrender to whatever the body response is. I said, oh, well, I just leave it up to my doctor. My doctor, no, now it's time for you to be your own doctor. Now it's time for you to step into that energy of understanding the wellness of your being. Because I remember when I was 11 years old, maybe 12, but I think I was 11. I had my mom was concerned about me. Your teeth are falling out. What's happening to you? What's going on? It's like, oh, mom, it's okay. My teeth are just coming in early. And $200 later, at a dental appointment, the dentist told her the same thing that I told her. So yeah. So I mean, when you are in touch with your body, when you are in tune with your body, you get to listen to it and understand how it functions and how it works and what it needs. And we go off and listen to other doctors or listen to other people's advice or listen to X, Y, and Z, about our body. No one can tell you more about you than you. All you have to do is just listen. And that's the important part.
That is asking those right questions as well. What's going on? What is it that I need to see? And your body's also being used to relay messages from your guides. Oh, God. That was me for the last 3 months. As you can tell by my voice.
So what's been going on with you for the past 3 months, kid? I mean,
let's just say that my overbearing mind and the stubbornness of my soul just did not want to listen to the messages that my guides are telling me. Shut up, sit down, buck up, and be nice to your mother.
Yeah, that last one's always important. The last one is very key. But and I think a lot of us, are really experiencing that way. A lot of us aren't really, really. Some of us are more open than others to listen to what's going on, but sometimes some of us are getting mixed signals or mixed messages of what to do. But the best thing I always say is sit down in stillness or lie in stillness, whatever it is. Go for a walk in nature. And still, when I speak of stillness, it's not always necessarily in meditation. Stillness is whatever brings your mind at ease or at peace. And that could be going for a bicycle ride. That could be going to exercise. As long as there's some sort of movement, as long as the body's involved, whatever. As long as you're connected, then the answers will come.
Oh, they came all right. They came all right. And I just started, finally, I sat down and I'm like, okay. I may not consciously have been aware of what I was doing, but the unconscious me was like, asshole. Gotta let that go. So,
and sometimes it's like that.
It really is. It really is. And all of us don't even know that we're going through something that we have created ourselves without even realizing that we created it because of the programs that are running that is causing the unconscious mind to send mixed signals to the subconsciousness, which then the subconsciousness is like, hey, huh?
That's one thing that I often talk about is subconscious and unconscious and all these variations of consciousness. It's so much simpler than what we would make it to be. As I've learned, it's only aware and not aware. It's only those two things. And yes, there's a lot going on as we are unaware of it because of the intelligent instrument, the intelligent tool that is our body, the intelligent tool that is our heart and mind, and all these spells that are running through our body, all these intelligent beings, these sentient beings running through our body. We are completely unaware of what they're doing. We know that they're there on some level, but we're unaware of what it is they do. Hear us, they listen to us, they know our vibration, all these things they pick up on it, just like the 2-year-old kid. Okay? I think of ourselves, our body as children. They pick up and listen to any and everything that's going on in the higher environment around them, meaning us. We're the higher environment. So whatever we put in our body, whatever we say and whatever we talk about at ourselves, whatever we say to ourselves, the body hears all of that. It's a child, even though it's probably, by the time you're not two, you're probably like 10, and then you're like 20, and then you're like 30, and then you're like 50, and then you're like 60, and it's like, okay, I'm 100 years old, I'm gonna die now. Your cells are still infants because they keep reproducing, they keep growing, they keep this whole cyclical process of death and birth throughout your life. And I believe every 7 years, you practically have a new body through all the death and life cycle of everything from the cells to the organs to the brain, even down to the neurons. You basically are recycling yourself every 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of yourself, when you think of your cells as children, because they're your children living inside of you, doing whatever it is that you program them to do, whatever you instruct them to do with the thoughts, words, with food, with all this stuff, where you can either have a clean environment for them to thrive in or a toxic. You choose. But it's in that point where we get to begin to understand fully what this intelligent, sentient being is, because we're just, in essence, kind of this, holding this vessel hostage. It's like, hey, I'm going to use you for my time here on this planet. And when I'm done with you, we're going to have to find another use for you. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for everything that you're doing right now. Thank you for holding all this love. Thank you for holding all this energy. Thank you for holding this being. Thank you for expanding yourself and just continue to grow in that space. And when you grow in that space, it just allows for something even more magnificent to happen. So be kind to yourself. I mean, all of it.
Exactly.
So, what would you gentlemen say to someone who feels like they're under constant stress of working and with other people, that they don't find much time for themselves? So how do they get in that quiet space? How do they listen to their cells? How do they understand what's going on with their body? What kind of recommendations could you offer this person or these people that they could take steps to do while they are busy? Because it's not something that you can stop when you're a caregiver.
Yeah. That's a really good question. And first thing I'll say, you can microdose on mushrooms. That's the easiest way. No,
I love it.
no, take about 200 milligrams of mushrooms, and you'll be floating all day. But honestly, so I lived in Chicago. I lived in New York, some of the busiest cities ever. So there's always like this constant energy of just go, go, go. The city is just that type of energy. But for one who is a caregiver, I watched my aunt do it with my grandma. I even did it for a little bit, and it just makes me a bit emotional just thinking about it. Um, every time, every time. Um, and so what I say to people who have this mindset of being caregivers, and sometimes, and people probably shoot me later for saying this, that's okay, because part of it is true. Part of the reason why we are caregivers is because, one, we don't want to face our own problems. So we focus all our energy on someone else. Because that's what I've seen it many times in people who are caregivers. They focus all their energy on one person taking care of them because, one, they don't want to face what they have to face, or two, they do it out of obligation. And for these people who are consistently busy, all you need is 30 seconds a minute, 2 minutes of your day, find that peace. When I would find myself on public transportation, that's what I find my time to write my poetry. That would be time for me to listen to some amazing music. That would be some time for me to even meditate on the train. And sometimes I had emotional breakdowns. No one ever knew, but I'm thankful it was just me and my space. And so it's just finding whatever time is best for you to deal with what you have to deal with. Regardless of what's going on in your life, you have to put yourself first because the distractions aren't going to serve anyone but the distractions. And you feed that energy, and the energy is just going to keep growing, and you're going to find more distractions. So you don't have to deal with what you have to deal with.
So let's circle back to mushrooms because I really like that thought. No, really, I do, but there's not a whole lot to say.
I do have to say.
Well, I mean, I can make recommendations if people want because that's been part of my own personal journey for the past few months as well. But, people can message me offline or whatever about that. I've also been doing plant medicine, preferably ayahuasca, San Pedro, peyote, all of it for the past 9 years. So I'm very that as well.
You were going to say something?
Oh, I don't remember.
It'll come
Was
back.
it about mushrooms?
We did, but it was this was when we lived in California. So this was a couple years ago, and we were in the beginning of our journey, but we thought we had this, or at least I did, and I was still struggling with a lot of fear, and so that came up in my vision. I got chased by angry teacups. I swear.
While she was being chased by her angry teacups, I come busting through the door like freaking Kool-Aid man. Hey! You want to go for a walk?
Well, see, and that's the beautiful part about the experience. One of the things that I've learned, and I'm going to share with everyone who's watching this, is that when you partake in medicine, because that's what this is. I don't care what people say. Call much drugs, whatever. It's all medicine. Period. And when you have medicine, even if you are diabetic or if you have some sort of illness, whatever medicine that you take, have a conversation. Just like you have a conversation with your friend, have a conversation with your medicine, have a conversation with your body. Set the intention, what is to do. Because, you take it and you just assume that, okay, I'll take this and I'm going to put it on my body, I'm going to ingest it, and you go off and do your thing. That's essentially what it is. I mean, when you ingest something, because we understand the properties and principles of certain pharmaceuticals. But when it comes to natural drugs, like the herbs and tinctures and mushrooms and plant medicines and things like that, there's a fear around that is palpable because people don't quite really understand what it is. There's curiosity, but there's also the same amount of fear as there's curiosity around this. And yes, I was very curious, but not afraid when I did my first plant medicine ceremony 9 years ago. And every time there's something new that comes, and you have a conversation, you talk to this being, this teacher. It's like, hey, this is what I need to work on. What are we going to do? Just like me being an energy facilitator, when I do the work on other people, I listen to them. I connect with them, with them on a soul level. Like, hey, this is what your soul is saying, but I'm going to listen to you, what you feel we should work on. And I'm like, okay, we're going to incorporate that, but this is what's most important. So the plant medicine teachers are the same. They listen to you, they hear you, because you're the guide. You're the one who's in charge. However, the teachers always know where it is best to be. And so with anything, when you set the intention, you have a conversation, you have this dialogue, magic happens.
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That puts a different perspective on my experience. I like that.
It's also a experience of showing you what you also needed to let go of as well.
Yeah, it still
Yeah.
took me some time to let go of that fear. That was really ingrained in me.
Yeah. No more teacups.
Be
And you
our
know,
guest. Be our guest. No.
Yeah,
Look,
with a
I think-
pitchfork. Come here, Candy.
But you know, but I will say that the setting, you know, like most people, I don't know if you ever watched documentaries about plant medicine, or one of my favorite, the Fantastic Fungi, which is on Netflix, one of my favorite ones about mushrooms. You know, they say that set and setting is important. You know, when you're in your space, be in your space. You know, just like when I've done many plant medicine journeys, and sometimes you get on these journeys, you get lost because you're just enjoying yourself and having a good time. But it's okay to be lost as long as you remember what your intention is. As long as you come back to that center, that anchor. Like, oh, wait. What am I here for? What am I here for? Oh, yeah, that. Okay. And so it's okay to have fun and let go sometimes. Sometimes that's what we need. Have to like let it all go and just be done.
That's true. So true. What was that one cactus that you can have the same type of psychedelic trip?
He said that.
It was the
Peyote.
Peyote.
the
Yeah.
peyote.
Yeah.
Because somebody
peyote.
was asking, if you can't do mushrooms, what's the next best thing? Because there are people out there that are allergic to mushrooms.
So here's my deal. You know, my thesis about it. If you're allergic to mushrooms, it's probably because they weren't cultivated properly. It could be something that's in the mushroom itself from where it was cultivated, which causes an allergic reaction. There's no reason why anyone should be allergic to mushrooms because there's nothing. Now, if you have some sort of bacterial or mold allergy, that's what it could be because it was probably grown in a similar space or environment. So, you know, take that into consideration wherever you purchase your number two. Oh, geez, what was I forgot?
All right, we'll come back to that.
Well, no. Well, no, it was a part two. Oh, geez.
So,
No, go ahead, because then that might trigger the other, that might trigger the second part of the answer.
Now you can't think of what you were gonna say?
no, I was going to bring a reminder, but then it also just got wiped away. I saw a hand just go. Psh.
That's what you were saying. And someone was allergic to mushrooms.
Yeah.
And so when in the that journey of connecting with these teachers, understand that each one has its own unique energy signature, frequency, and purpose. You know, and this is one thing that I'm presently learning about each one as I go. But that's what it was, because you asked about peyote. If someone can't take mushrooms, take peyote. That's what it was. So I don't recommend anyone that they take anything other than mushrooms on their own. And because we're taking peyote, we're taking Guadaluma, which is San Pedro, or Saint Peter to some. When you partake in other forms of psychedelics or hallucinogenics, other medicines, you will definitely need the expertise of a shaman or someone like a shaman who has experienced these medicines before. You know, there was when I did ceremony last year for a whole month, my shaman said to me, "It's like I will only I will only teach you how to create and make one medicine for yourself at home, and it's tobacco. It's a liquid tobacco that I sometimes make my home, and that's to help with more of a clarity of mind. And so, with these, sometimes they call them sacraments. They're very important in how they are treated and how they are handled. So if you are taking peyote or sage or any form of mescaline or any form of hallucinogen on your own, I wish you all the best of luck on that individual journey. However, if you are doing something like mushrooms, be very mindful of the dosage and intent.
Oh, yeah. So a kid took, did you take half a dose?
I think it was half.
And I
So
took,
what's half? Was it more than, was it 5 grams or less?
It was like half a cap.
Oh, so that's probably not even a gram.
No.
Then.
and I took just a pinch of what he took. And I had, when he came in and asked if I wanted to go for a walk, and I said, I can't move. And he goes, why? And I said, because if I move, my face is going to slide off.
Fall off.
It really felt like
So,
that.
do you remember what strain you had? What strain it was?
She didn't even know where we got it over in Stockton. She didn't even know what her cellar was. Yeah, she just said, I have some if you guys want some. So
Yeah, things like that you have to be very mindful of because you never know because there's a bunch of strains out there and different ways to cultivate them. And so I'm learning how to do that myself because it's very important to know where you get your medicine.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Well, years later, we're now figuring this stuff out. But
Yeah.
that was our first experience and our only experience. We never did it again. But we do intend to do it soon again.
If I was on the West Coast with you guys, I would come out and just give you guys all kind of goodies. I would.
Oh, we would love that.
You know, and my shaman is actually I'm going to see them this weekend. I'm so happy. I haven't seen them in a year. Actually, a little more than a year. So I get to hang out with them this weekend, which is very nice. And so they do make their way out west sometimes. So if you guys ever want to try something a little bit more, let me know, and I can definitely connect with you in whatever space they happen to be.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
That would be very awesome. We know some people here on the West Coast that would also like to do that too.
definitely. Someone in the chat is like,
I need that. I need that breakthrough.
Well, if you're watching this now and you have your hand raised, you're more than welcome to connect with me through the link that's there. You can message me on Instagram. You can message me wherever you see me to connect with me. I am open and available to talk and offer any resources that I have available to you. And speaking of the chat, are there any other questions or comments hanging out in the chat?
oh yeah, there's a lot, but I haven't been able to really focus on it because I'm just glued to what you're saying.
Right?
All right, so if you're on your computer and you have your phone next to you, you can hop on to our YouTube and see the chat.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't I think of that?
So there is a question from Diane Casey. So what if we feel there is not enough hours in the day? How do we address that daily? I am a full-time caregiver
I already
for
asked that.
both my 80-plus-year-old parents.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You already asked that.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
So that's. I mean, I paraphrased it so you didn't recognize it. That's okay.
Oh.
Okay, so we already asked newsrooms.
Wait, inner peace. Question. I do not think there's soul connection. I do not think that there is a soul connection if the pineal is not open. The pineal shows us the true photon light to decipher fake reality seen through the retina going down the chakras before reaching the crown. What are your thoughts?
That's absolutely true. I love that. And I want to share with everyone who's watching this a good way to activate that through what I call the gamma breath or the gamma breath work. And because the pineal gland opens up when it reaches the gamma state. And so there are some things you can find on social media or on YouTube where you can connect to a gamma frequency, which is 40 hertz, and which activates activates and open up the pineal gland. However, there is a particular technique that you can do, and it's a particular breathwork exercise. Not a lot of people know about it, but they would know after. And I even teach this in some of the seminars and workshops that I hold. And so what you want to do is when you breathe in, you fill up your chest or stomach or diaphragm as you always do with the breath of air. As you fill up and as you breathe out, you want to pull your stomach back to your spine. And what it does is, because there's a lot of energy in the hips, there's a lot of energy in the intestines and stomach. And what it does is it pushes that energy that is there back up through the spinal column, and the spinal fluid flows back up into and opens up the pineal gland. And you do that for about maybe 30 seconds, and you're going to feel that shift. You're going to feel that shift. And that's the kid already trying to do it. Now, yeah, you could go ahead and see, sometimes it only takes a few breaths if you do it for, even just 10 seconds. You'll feel that breath. So what I often express to people, you can do like 5 breaths, you really begin to feel that. And you can do this anywhere. You can do it on the train, you can do it in your car when you're stuck in traffic, you can do it at work, extending yourself. You can do it anywhere because it helps to open up that energy and higher awareness.
So I'm laughing because in one of my meditations, I was breathing like that, and it was a deep breath, and it was what did I call it? I called it it doesn't matter. Anyways, it was, and kid goes, I can't meditate when you're doing that. And he looks at me and he goes, you're going like this. And he was being funny and exaggerating, but that's what came to my mind when you were saying breathing.
But when we have, when we do these things, our way is our way, because our body is the way that it is. It moves the way that it does for a particular reason. And but I noticed that when I, in the beginning of my medicine journey, I was very still and very in the space of being a neutral observer of myself. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. As I began to get more experience, I began to play with my body in movement and see how my body, my energy would respond to different movements. So as I learned to understand how my body would react, well, and I understood how the energy of my being or in my field will react with certain movements.
Uh-huh.
And so there's, certain hand movements or certain gestures or arm poses or things that we do with the way that we sit. Our energetic field responds differently because our body is also an antenna to these frequencies. So when we sit or move in certain ways or activate different parts and points of our body, everything reacts to that the way that it's supposed to, because we are that vessel and the conduit for that energetic. So people can laugh all they want.
So as an example of what Hillis is saying, I found out that when I go into a deep meditation, if I put 2 fingers here on the temple, 1 finger here on the nose, and then my thumbs here, man, do I fly high. Yes. And so I find that when I have that connection and there's that energy flow through my hands through to the pineal, which is right there between the temples.
Yeah.
So
those are very interesting points as well, because doing the work that I do, I have to understand and know the meridians. So part of the areas where you're touching is the central governing system, as well as the temples. They are connected to the eyes, which go back here to the pineal gland. So everywhere we're touching is connecting the central governing system, as well as the pineal gland, which is the center of the body. So when you connect the centers of the body, it just allows for that greater flow of energy because you're opening up to be a conductive, energetic space.
That makes total sense. Which
So,
is why even Nikola Tesla says that our eye is our higher organ. He never uses the word eyes. He always uses the word eye.
You know, it's funny because we have all these great historic figures who talk about energy and have all these great wisdom and inventions. And sometimes I often think to myself, you know, if I just gave up TV, or if I just gave up some of my technological devices, how much further could I expand myself? And, you know, I've kind of been doing that the past few months, just giving up, things little by little and less time with, my TV or less time on my laptop or less time on my phone. It's just interesting in how when you allow for your energy to be focused on something else, you allow other things to expand with the attention and awareness.
very true. I took our TV and put on solfeggio music, and
Oh yeah, I love that.
I look for a hertz that feels right, and sometimes that changes.
Yeah.
So, and that's playing 24/7. Uh, and when we got our Alexas, I was playing meditation music. And then I turned off the solfeggio music, and we did that for a week. And I could not believe the difference in how I felt. And that TV went right back on, and now we're back to balance and zero pointing again. It makes such a huge difference when we surround ourselves with the hertz that we're supposed to be vibrating at.
Yeah. You know, one of the things, and I wish I would have discovered this a little bit sooner, but there's one channel that I discovered on YouTube. It's called Sapien, Sapien Medicine. And he has some of the most amazing frequencies, and each one is geared for something very specific. And his short, I think the longest one may be like 20 minutes. Most of them are like in short intervals because what's recommended that you listen to them uh, at least 3 times a day, but no more than 3 times a day because it works on the nervous system and stem cells in the body, and you don't want to over stimulate the body to a degree because it can, uh, shut down or overload the system. You don't want
Oh, we know.
that.
And by the way, there's another tip for those that like the idea of playing solfeggio Hertz music, is if you look for the ones that are live, it will play 24/7. All the others eventually shut off, or your TV will say, "Are you still there?"
Yeah, the live ones kind of they bug me a little bit, and not in a bad way. They're just like, I have other things going on. That's not going to play this all day. I'm just going to go off and do my thing. That's why I like the short ones. I can do what I got to do in that short amount of time, and then boom, go on with my day. No, unless it's a Sunday, because that's the only day that I really have. Well, not the only day I really have. That's the day that I choose for my time for Hillis.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there was another question that came in. Where was it? It's up a little bit more. Diane Casey had that question. What is the best first timers natural medicine for sissies?
I love that, Diane.
You know, everyone who encounters plant medicine for the first time is a sissy. Period. I mean, there's always going to be this element of courage and this element of fear. Period. There's always going to be that, no matter what it is, for your first time. You know, there's for me, for my first time doing ayahuasca, there was this level of curiosity, this level of excitement and exuberance, and yet there was like this, oh shit, what's going to happen to me when I take this? Oh crap, what am I going to turn into? What's going to happen? It's always going to be like that. So it doesn't matter. So for anyone, for it's their first time diving into psychedelics, I would definitely want to say, start off with mushroom. Honestly, do like, 1.5, maybe 2 grams of mushrooms. Preferably, golden teachers are a fan favorite. B plus are a fan favorite, because they're moderate in their potency. They're not as heavy as like a penis envy mushroom, which is very high in its potency, or a tidal wave mushroom, which is also high in its potency. So, just find one that you resonate with, something that's on the low to moderate side, like even a luminous Lucy is low dosage, or even a golden teacher, or even a golden halo. Those are low in potency. So those are some of the things that you can get into, but play with, experiment with, but always remember, if you're doing it, do it with the best intention, set the intention, talk to your medicine, expectations, because that's the magic. It's having that dialogue with it.
That's good to know.
Diane says, okay, great. Yep. Okay.
Jay Williams asks, what do you know about the sacred serum?
Sacred
Serum.
And let's see, man, sacrum.
Where's that question?
But it's right here. What do you know about the sacred SERUM serum? I don't know if he spelled that right, if he spelled it wrong, but maybe he's talking.
What comes to mind if he's referring to the brew known as ayahuasca, which is made from the chukuna plant, which has the DMT, and the ayahuasca, which suppresses the inhibitors in the brain to turn off when the DMT is active. So I've been doing ayahuasca for a little over 9 years. I've done many plant medicine journeys, and I can say that it has helped me to be a better person, a better healer, one who has embraced this role to be of service to others. It is one journey, one medicine that all must step into the space and be, because like all plants, they require a certain level of respect. But this teacher, along with many other plant teachers, show you many things. And once you ingest this medicine is always with you. You can always connect with it long after you have had your first experience.
Wow. Jay says, okay, no, this happens in the brain and travels down the spinal column, waiting for its return back up. So that must be what he's talking about.
Yeah, so is it the Kundalini then?
Let's go with
Because
it.
this is another one, because if this is the Kundalini, because there are several Kundalini meditations and frequencies you can utilize to activate the Kundalini, because the Kundalini is also known as the serpent in the belly, or because it lays in the center of your power, lays in that being. And as you open and activate this energy, it travels up the spine into the pineal. And when it does that, you're open and connected, and people can do this, often, when they're trained, almost instantaneously without having to go into meditation. People who practice the work that I do, almost like we flip a switch and we're right there. And so once this energy is on coil, it goes up and then once you are in a less receptive, it goes back to sleep, so to speak.
So interesting. I couple meditations ago, I was brought into a room, and there the Lady of Light met me, and she said, "May I?" And I saw this beautiful light liquid, like it thick like honey, but it was just energy. And I said yes, and so she poured it down my crown chakra, and I felt it move all the way down to the base chakra, activating the kundalini, and then all the way back up it came. And she did that several times for me in different meditations, and that was so incredible.
Yeah, it was almost like she was not only activating, but also like pulling and clearing out of the stuff that was trapped in that space. Let me ask you, after the first couple of meditations, did you notice difference in how you walk or in your posture?
I didn't pay attention.
Was that today?
No, it started about
Well, begin to
4
pay
days
attention
ago.
to,
Okay.
because the posture and how we sit or stand also plays a role in how we conduct. So be more mindful of those times when that happens for you. Yeah.
Yeah, that might have happened. I remember couple of them, that it was very easy to sit straight up, and that's not my normal posture. Normal posture is to
Slouch over.
slouch or use something to support me.
Yeah.
I've been sediment way too long, and I not real healthy in the physical aspect, but that was easy. I just can't definitively tie it to that, but I do know that happened.
I think on the physical level it didn't show up, but on the mental and spiritual level it strengthened you in a whole different way.
Oh, definitely for that.
I see the difference of then and now. I was just piecing all the pictures together. That's why I asked you about the date.
Oh, thank you.
So yes, it did help you in that era.
Well, I do know that my visions have gotten absolutely amazing.
Beautiful.
When I go into meditation. Like, for instance, today, yesterday, a rhinoceros came over to me. Well, first let me tell you that when all of this started, an ant came up to me and said, "Can I plant a seed?" And I said, "Yes." And so he planted it in my heart space, and it took several meditations for me to feel the roots grow down, and then this tree just grew out of the crown all the way up to the seventh plane and over the whole earth, and it looked like the white tree on Avatar, the ones where they would connect their tails. So those light streams that would come down, and I saw it connecting to all of us, and it would bring healing. And so there were different meditations on that. And then came the rhinoceros yesterday, and boy, he was beautiful. The second one, with the rhinoceros, he put down his horn so I could climb on his back, and then he just took me different places. Today was a unicorn, and let me tell you what happened.
Don't leave a crucial part out. With the rhinoceros in the background, meaning that he was still there.
Yeah.
That's a big part to play.
Yeah, so he was there, but he wasn't the focus. The unicorn was. And this unicorn I saw myself petting her. And then she put her leg up so I could get on top of her. And she said, now reach up. And then all of a sudden, on this tree came this fruit that just grew. And I was told to pick one and eat it. And this fruit was like pearlescent diamond. And I could feel the sweetness of it. Oh my God. It was so physical, like I was truly there eating it. And I felt it make a change within my body, this diamond. And I asked if I could touch her horn, and she did. And she said, now touch the top. And it pricked me. But instead of blood coming out, and it didn't hurt, instead of blood coming out, it came out diamonds. And so I knew what that was telling me. And then it's like I could see like me holding a big bowl and just picking fruit for everyone. And then all the fruit grew back, and I went, oh, it's never ending. And so I know that everyone is supposed to eat of the fruit of this tree. And it's connected to everyone so everyone can. And this is how would you say it, like accelerating our change.
Yeah, it's part of the whole. It's part of the crystalline body, the light body energy. That's what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about this transformation.
Yeah, so that was really, really cool.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
So is there any other questions? Well, there is one from Inner Peace. Does Hillis use Mudras?
Much? Yeah. That sounds right.
Mudras much when he meditates. Can he show us the ones he likes?
Oh, Mudras. You know, there is one that I do, but it's very common. And it's one of these things that when I started meditating, I didn't know it was a mudra. It's just something that came naturally. And it's the one that actually, funny enough, Buddha uses a lot. And it's the one for enlightenment. But honestly, I don't use mudras much in my meditations. And so how the one that Buddha uses for enlightenment is that you clasp your hands this way, inward, and then you begin to fold them, and then you have your index fingers pointing out, touching, and then your thumbs back to you. So it's almost like a diamond. You have fingers out and thumbs pointing to you. And the purpose of this is for enlightenment and to connect to whatever enlightened energies. You know, and honestly, I didn't know that this was a mudra till, I don't know, last year, I think. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm doing something special? Didn't know it. So it's funny how things just come to you. Oh, there's one other one that I do, but I didn't know it was a mudra either. And so I think this one means awareness. So you just clasp your hands inward and then just fold them back like this and have your thumbs over your index fingers. And that's the one for awareness.
Wow, I have really fat fingers. I don't know that I can.
You just do it as best as you can.
Right.
That is the most
Yeah,
comfortable.
it's not perfect. It took me a little bit of time to get used to it, but it's look like a brick wall. And you know what's interesting about this is that it's when you look inside, all the energy is coming back to you. So it's like it's like this conducting, all the energy is coming back to you, all in that space of awareness. But yeah, honestly, hand motions and mudras really don't mean much to me. Because, I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know I was doing it. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm doing that already. So it's almost innate. So whatever you feel that you are doing for yourself, do it. Because there's a plethora, an abundance, a bounty of wisdom and information on the planet, in the universe, in the Akashic records. And so if there's something new for you, do it. Or if there's something not new, do it anyway. Just do what just do what's natural for you. Because I'll be, and I have been saying this for quite some time. I'm nobody's guru. I'm nobody's self-help expert. I'm nobody's life coach. I'm none of these. I'm just like you, having an experience on the planet. And the reason why I'm able to facilitate and mentor other souls on their journeys is because I've been there, I've done it, I've experienced it. And so I'm able to call forth certain energies because I've allowed myself to connect and attune to these frequencies to be of service to you. But just don't leave it your life, your healing, your transformation in the hands of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here to assist you on your path, to assist people on their journey, to assist them in their transformation. I'm not here to do it for you. Heck, if I had somebody to do it for me, I'd be a lot further in my life right about now.
That's true.
Here, just like people, and I'm a crystal who I love crystal. But it's just like me picking up a crystal, and I don't know if anyone has ever seen that meme where it's this guy with pointing at a crystal, and the caption says "Fix my life," pointing at the crystal. I'm like, the crystal's not going to fix your life. This is one of many tools to assist. I'm a tool to a facilitator to assist other people. I'm just a glorified crystal, if you will, with an abundance of knowledge and resources at my disposal. So it's like that, and so anyone who calls themselves a guru or a life coach or whatever have you, they claim that they can help you fix your life without you taking responsibility, and that's the key. If anyone is working with anyone right now, and they are working with you, and they don't want you, the individual, to claim responsibility for anything that you've done, that's not the right person for you. Because I go through a process, and I'm just putting it out here because I'm guided to share this. I had one person who was interested in working with me, and they were filling out my form, and they got to my form, and then they responded to me and said, "Your form is stupid. Your form is crazy." Because I ask a lot of detailed questions and information that's necessary for me to do what I do. And they say, "You asked me if I would take responsibility for my own healing. Would I take responsibility for this?" I'm like, yeah, because it's your life, it's your journey. Heck, my shaman has even said to me, "This is your life. You have to own and be responsible for it."
Yeah.
If people aren't taking responsibility for their own path and purpose, you're working with the wrong individual. You are not working with who you have to work with. And so it all begins and ends with you. If you are not doing what you're supposed to do, I'm sorry. It's just how.
It's true. That's another reason why that my guides have given me or has been training me to stop apologizing and stop saying sorry about every situation that has happened, because when you say sorry and you apologize, you recreate the situation because you're attached to the situation. So now I need you to say this: I take ownership of my action, and I understand and understand that that action has made you feel this way.
Yes, and it's also about owning your power, because when you say "I'm sorry," you're still giving your power back to that other person.
Yep,
You know,
it's true.
you know, it's yeah, it's one of the things that actually, somebody who I admire and who assisted me on my path, and when I interviewed Neil Donald Walsh on my show, he talked about the difference between forgiveness and understanding. That no one needs forgiveness. No one needs forgiveness. And he told the story about understanding. It was so pure in how it was received, because he expressed that you have a child, and you have the parents and you have the grandparents that were all having dinner, and this child, spills milk on the table, and instead of getting upset, the grandfather looks over the child, and the child begins to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Grandpa, I didn't mean to spill the milk." And the child goes, and the grandfather goes, "I understand. You're just a child. You don't know any better. It's okay." Instead of getting upset and angry, why did you do that? You should know better. All that stuff, because when we get into that energy, it's really about not really understanding who we are, what we do, or who's blaming who for this or who's blaming who for that. I mean, in the end, it's all about what we have learned from our personal observance by observing our parents, our grandparents, our teachers, our elders. It all comes down, it comes back to that. How we have responded to these energies and to these thoughts and patterns in our lives. And so now it's time to dissolve all of that and have something new.
Very true.
Well, I think that's a good note to end tonight's live. We actually have been an hour and 20 minutes, and it's just flown by.
Well, when we're having fun,
right?
Exchanging all these amazing high vibrational energies, it's like, screw you time. You have...
Well, I mean, they don't call your show high. You don't call your show High Vibes Up for nothing. So, I mean, there was stuff that needed to be said and exchanged today for those who were watching and for them to receive the information. So I am honored for this infinite, expansive space with you, Kid and Candy, and with your viewers, and I hope that everyone received what they needed to receive this fine evening.
Well, let's have you on again because we didn't even get to the ayahuasca yet.
Right? Well, there's a lot of things that we didn't cover, but everybody could see the link above. Over there, up there, as you guys can see. That link has everything in there. His website, it has his Cosmic Insight Show, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitter, Amazon. Has everything that you need to know about Hillis Pugh and how to get into contact with him. So you can go ahead and go into the description, and it's also in the description below as well, so you guys can go into the description, press the link, and just do what you need to do. He's, as you guys can see, he's amazing, and we already established that yesterday during our conversation, and now we're establishing it with you guys again today.
Right? So don't forget that tomorrow we have our psychic game show with Jay and April. And that is, I already posted that and I got the link. So that's in Telegram and on my Facebook. And then on the 20th, we have Tara Crate at 1 p.m. here on this channel. And then we'll schedule you again.
Yeah, I know Tara. Yeah, I love Tara. She's one of my friends. Actually, I haven't seen her. She's down this way. I haven't talked to her in a while. I need to catch Tara. But Tara, if you're watching, hi.
Yes, this was an honor, and it was truly amazing to be able to finally meet you face to face. Even though it's virtual, it's still face to face, and it's great to be able to have you a part of the family.
Thank you so much, Candy. Thank you so much, Kid. Thank you, family, everyone, for being open to receive and take what you have received and spread the seeds of love and joy and happiness to all those who you meet.
Beautiful.
All right, everyone. We love you. And just remember that everything that you do is creating a ripple that is creating waves in the cosmic consciousness, which is attracting that new world that we are truly desiring at this moment. And without you, there's no us. Without us, well, the world wouldn't be the way that it is today. And we are We are killing it. So keep on doing what you're doing and keep moving forward. We love you guys, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
And yes, there are unicorns.
Probably not going to want to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Always go with the choice that scares you the most, because it's the choice that's going to help you grow.
Wow.
I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes.
Hey, best friend. Wait. To the person seeing this, I know you're tired. I know you're fed up and so close to breaking. But remember, you have strength within you even when you feel weak. Keep fighting, best friend.